Alright, we're going to be reacting to how did ancient humans kill boredom?
You gotta credit them. Grand Khalifa.
These are my grand apps. But let's go.
Now you have 47 apps on your phone, a streaming service with 10,000 things to watch, a podcast for every topic that has ever existed, and somehow you still get bored. So here's a question nobody thinks to ask. What did ancient humans do when they were bored?
Jerk off.
I think they absolutely destroyed that dick. I don't know what they put it in. I mean, there was mammoths and shit. But they had fun back in the day, bro. You know?
Mammoth. How would they put their dick in a mammoth?
Step stool?
Not medieval humans, not ancient Romans, not even ancient Egyptians. We're going back further than that. 100,000 years. 200,000 years. Back when there was no writing, no art, no music, no language as we know it. Just people, sitting there, with nothing to do. The answer changes everything we think we know about creativity, religion, and why your brain works the way it does. But first, did boredom even exist back then? This is actually a serious scientific...
Being around the bush.
Tell me 3 things this guy just said. Yeah, this guy took 7 minutes
Yeah, no.
of just building it up.
As a matter of fact.
I was waiting for some gangster shit. You couldn't have said mama. The damn thing.
Balls.
scientific debate. For a long time, researchers assumed our earliest ancestors were too busy surviving to get bored. Every waking hour was hunting, foraging, building shelter. There was no downtime. But that assumption turned out to be wrong. Very wrong. In 1966, anthropologist Marshall Salins published
And he had a dream, bitch.
a paper that flipped everything. He had spent years studying the Kung San people of the Kalahari Desert, one of the last everything. He had spent years studying the Kung San people of
Yo, what did he call them people?
the Kalahari Desert, one of the last group everything. He had spent years studying the Kung San people of the Kalahari Desert, one of the last groups on Earth still living something close to the original human lifestyle. What he found was this. They worked, on average, about 15 to 20 hours per week. That's
Light work.
it. Not per day, per week. The rest of the time, they rested, they talked, they sat, they did nothing in particular. Salins called them the original affluent society, not because they had stuff, because they had time, more free time than most modern humans ever get. So the question isn't whether ancient humans got bored. The question is what happened when they did. Let's start with the obvious one. They played.
This video is going by too fucking slow. They played what? What is this? What game is this? Throw it at the back of their head? There's a guy on the fucking ground clapping his hands. One guy...
Yeah, he's on crack.
That guy's fent. I know a fentline when I see one.
This sounds simple. It isn't. In 2010, archaeologist Francesco De Rico and his
I know this motherfucker didn't draw that. I could have drawn that with my dick. 2010. And you drawing like that? Get the fuck out of here, bro.
team studied a collection of shells found at a site in South Africa called Blombos Cave. The shells were 75,000 years old. They had holes drilled through them, and they were coated in red ochre. These weren't tools. They weren't weapons. They weren't food. They were beads. Someone had sat down 75,000 years ago with nothing better to do and made themselves jewelry. That's the oldest known art object in human history, and it started with boredom. But here's what's really interesting. Making those beads would have taken hours, maybe days. Drilling through a shell with a stone tool, without electricity, without metal, without patience built by a lifetime of entertainment. That is a long afternoon. And they did it anyway, because the alternative was staring at the wall of a cave. Necessity didn't invent art, boredom did. The same pattern shows up in music. In 2008, researchers excavating a cave in southern Germany found a flute. It was made from the bone of a vulture. It had 5 finger holes. It was 40,000 years old. Someone, 40,000 years ago, before agriculture, before cities, before any civilization we would recognize, sat down and invented music. Not because they had to, because they had a free afternoon and a bird bone.
So, what's going on here? Okay? He's saying 40,000 years ago, someone played a song. How did this guy get this information?
He's working with the feds.
He's got to be with the Israeli government. Oh my god. He's on more shit than I'd ever take, I'll tell you that.
And it turns out music is what the brain does when it has nothing else to process. Neuroscientist Daniel Levitin, who studies the origins of music, argues that musical ability is older than language. Our brains were wired for rhythm and melody before we could form complex sentences, because rhythm is pattern recognition, and pattern recognition kept us alive. But boredom didn't just invent art and music. It invented something far more powerful. It invented imagination. Think about this. You cannot be bored without a concept of time. To be bored, you have to know that this moment is lasting too long, that something else could be happening, that the future exists and it could be better than right now. Boredom is, in a very real sense, the first sign that a brain has developed the ability to imagine things that don't exist yet. Animals don't get bored the way humans do. A dog waiting for its owner isn't bored. It's
Fucking.
Yeah. I don't know, bro, but he's talking about boredom and I'm
Yeah.
getting bored.
Kill boredom.
I think
I'm
this
about to kill this
motherfucker
motherfucker for causing me boredom.
He How did they cure it then? Motherfucker, how do I cure it now? Dude, this fucking video is only
dragging this
7.5
I have
fucking
yet to
minutes
figure-
long. Oh, what'd they do for boredom? They sat there and made anal beads by the beach.
just waiting. It doesn't have
Living
a
in a
concept of
van
what else it could be
down
doing.
by the
But
river.
a human sitting in a cave 100,000 years ago, staring at the fire, nothing to do, starts to think. What if the hunt goes wrong tomorrow? What if that sound outside is a predator? What's beyond that mountain? Where do we go when we die? Every question religion has ever asked. Every question philosophy has ever asked. Every question science is still trying to answer. All of
Hold up, though. How do you think about stuff if you don't know how to say it? Hear me out, I'm on to something. Back in the day, right? 40,000 years ago, they didn't speak. They didn't speak language, bro. They just hooting and hollering. So how do you think about something when you don't know what to say? Alright.
them started the same way. Someone was bored, and their mind started wandering. In 2013, psychologist Sandy Mann published research showing that boredom significantly increases creative output. She had people perform the most boring tasks she could devise, copying numbers from a phone book, and then tested their creativity immediately afterward. The bored group dramatically outperformed everyone else, because boredom forces the brain to generate its own stimulation, and the brain, when left to its own devices, is extraordinary. But there's one more thing ancient humans did when they were bored, and it's the one that mattered most. They talked. Not about hunting, not about food, not about logistics. They told stories. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar, the same researcher who discovered
With what language?
With their dick.
Ooh.
No, yeah.
Ha.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think they had a language, bro. I think he's capping. He's trying to get some clout. I mean, he got it for sure. He got some shit we don't have.
that human social groups naturally cap at around 150 people, spent years studying what humans talk about when they're not talking about anything important.
Whose old ass studied this shit and gave us back this information? Because this guy's just fucking flabbering. But okay.
Finding? Roughly 65% of all human conversation is social gossip. Who did what? Who said what? What happened to someone you both know? This sounds like a waste of time. It wasn't. Dunbar argues that language itself evolved not for practical communication, but for social bonding. Before language, primates bonded by grooming each other, physically. But grooming takes time. It's one-to-one. You can only groom one friend at a time. Language replaced grooming. Now you could bond.
So this motherfucker's out here grooming his friends.
But one at a time.
Yeah, one at a time. He's making sure of that.
I mean,
So wait, hang on.
how's he gonna...
Hang on.
I'm hanging on. He's assaulting his friends. God damn, I won't leave him with my dog. He's gonna go ham on that thing.
people at once. 10. A whole group around a fire. You could tell a story about someone who wasn't even there. You could build trust with people you'd never touched. Language, and therefore human civilization, didn't emerge because we needed to coordinate hunts. It emerged because we were sitting around with nothing to do, and we started talking about each other. Boredom invented gossip, and gossip invented society. So here's where we've ended up. 75,000 years ago, someone bored in a cave made a bead. 40,000 years ago, someone bored in a...
He called it. That was... Let's go back.
I mean,
Say it
predict
as
the
you see it.
future.
I mean,
you know, like
40,000
shit.
years ago,
down by the
Hold on.
beach.
someone
Was
bored
that far
in a
back
di-
enough?
someone
No,
bored
there
in a
it is.
cave.
What is he holding exactly? And where's he putting that? I'll tell you what, it doesn't have an end piece to it to connect it. I'll say what. And he don't look too happy either. And no clothes on.
With
What?
anal beads. I'm just saying.
I was saying.
Made a bead. 40,000 years ago, someone bored in a different cave made a flute. And somewhere in between, people sitting around fires with nothing to do started asking questions no one had answers to. About death, about the sky, about why things are the way they are. And some of those questions became religion. Some of them became science. Some of them became art. Some of them became you, lying awake at 2 a.m. with your phone on your chest, thinking about nothing in particular. Here's the part nobody talks about. Modern psychology has a term for what happens when you eliminate...
We still have yet to get to the part where we want you to talk about.
This motherfucker started at one professor and worked his way down 10 of them. How the fuck did we get to here? And he got the Abe Lincoln hat. When did they invent the hat? And he's drawing all these pictures with a fucking crayon. So, I mean, alright, let's continue.
completely. They call it cognitive overload. When every moment is stimulated, the brain never gets the chance to do what it was built to do in the quiet moments. Process, consolidate, create. The default mode network, the part of your brain that activates when you're doing nothing, is the same network responsible for creativity, self-reflection, and empathy. It only turns on when you're bored. We spent 300,000 years learning to fill silence with something meaningful. Then we invented the smartphone, and we've been filling silence ever since. But every time you put the phone down and sit with nothing for a moment, every time your mind starts to wander and you let it, you're doing the same thing the person in the cave was doing, the same thing that made the bead, the same thing that made the flute, the same thing that looked up at the stars.
I don't know about you, though. But he's saying, like, the phones, you know, if we put down the phones, did he show a picture if we put down the phones we'd be happy?
No, he's showing a picture of, I'm not really sure.
No, look at the one before, bro. You didn't see that? This right here, he's saying if you put down the phone, you be happy. I'll tell you what, my phone in my pocket all the time. I don't leave my phone anywhere.
Your phone, wallet.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm happy with my phone. What if you didn't have a phone? You can't even call 911, bitch. Can't call Ghostbusters, nothing, bro.
Starts to wander and you let it. You're doing the same thing the person in the cave was doing, the same thing that made the bead, the same thing that made the flute, the same thing that looked up at the stars and started asking why. Boredom didn't hold ancient humans back. It's what made them human, and it might be doing the same thing for you, if you let it.
Okay, so top 3 most uneducated videos I've ever watched in my life. Because we didn't get an answer to this goddamn title at all. How did ancient humans kill boredom? And what he said is by doing exactly what we do today. How the fuck? What? Like, what is he talking about? What is this guy clearly talking about? He lost his marbles.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah. I'm going to Pornhub.
Alright.